Sometimes the best way you can help a loved one is to let them fail. I've talked about it before, where one of the hardest lessons in relation to self improvement was that not everybody wants to be better. Not everyone wants to improve themselves and be the best version of themselves. Not everyone wants to grow in life. And arguably, I think this could be the runner up. This is the second hardest lesson I had to learn. And that is sometimes the best way to help someone is to step away and let them self destruct, let them hit their rock bottom, let them fail. And I say this for two reasons. You've done the hard work. You're identifying things that you need to heal from. You're identifying things that you need to work on to be better. You're identifying bad habits you need to break. You're identifying all the little things that you can improve on so that you can be a better person, so that you can be the best version of yourself for everyone else and for yourself. And because you've taken this step to become self-aware and to work on things, you are seeing proof that it works. You are your own proof. And it creates this mindset of, I can do it. And if I can do it, I know my loved ones XYZ and anyone else can do it too. They just have to want it. They have to believe it. But that's the thing. They have to want it and they have to believe in it. And that kind of falls in line with the whole realizing not everybody wants to grow. Not everyone wants to be better. Everyone has a different definition of what rock bottom is to them. It's subjective. So one person's rock bottom might not have been as bad as another person, but to us, to ourselves, it was our rock bottom. So I feel like it leads to this thought of like, well, I hit my rock bottom and I chose to be better. I wanted to turn my life around. I wanted to change something. Why can't this person also do the same? Why can't this person see that they need to change something, that they have control of their life and that they are the director of their own lives? Why can't they see that? And it falls back to, how bad do they want it? Do they even want it at all? Because change is hard. Changing your habits, changing your thinking, changing your way of life is hard. And sadly, not everyone is up for it. Not everyone wants it. They want to skate through in life. So letting them fail is the best way to allow them to hit their rock bottom. They need to know what it feels like to crash and burn. They need to know what it feels like to be at their rock bottom, what it feels like to have nowhere else to go. You can't even fall any further because there's nowhere else to go. And that's when a choice will be presented to them. And they get to choose which path they want to take. On one hand, they can realize, I am in charge of my life. I am in charge of how I react. I am in charge of how I move forward from this point on. And they can choose to pick themselves back up, and they can choose to make better choices, and they can choose to turn their life around. Or they can continue to be the victim. They can continue to say, woe is me, the world is out to get me. Why am I so unlucky? Everyone hates me. I can't do anything about my life. I can't do anything about my situation. It is what it is. I am the way I am. Those are the two options. And by allowing them to get to their lowest point, you are helping them by coming face to face with that choice. A or B, red pill, blue pill. Which one is it going to be? Are you going to pick yourself back up? Are you going to try and be better and do better? Or are you just going to say, I'm so unlucky, it is what it is? And hopefully by allowing them to get to that point, they would choose the, I'm going to get better. I don't want to live like this anymore. I know there is more in life for me. Hopefully they make that realization. Hopefully that's the choice they make. And that's when you can step back in and you can support them and you can be there for them. And you can say, I always knew you had it in you. I'm here for you every step of the way. You can lean on me. We will do this together. You're not actually letting them down. And I know it seems like letting them fail, letting them get hurt, letting them have those soul crushing moments. It's going to feel awful. It feels like you're doing them a disservice. You can prevent it because you know the answer. You know the answer is to just stop the bad habits, to change your life around, and you want to help prevent all that pain in their life. And that's natural because nobody wants to see their loved ones in pain, especially when you know it can be prevented and when you know what steps needs to be taken to prevent it all. Nobody wants that. But sometimes Actually, all the time. Failure is the best lesson. You just got to let them have their moments of failure, but you can also be there ready to catch them and help them back up. The other reason why sometimes you just need to step away and let your loved ones fail is because it's going to hinder your own growth. It's going to hinder any progress you've made. It's going to hinder your emotional and mental well-being. We place so many expectations on those around us, especially based off of our own personal experiences, because you've done the work, because you've turned your life around, because you've decided to make better choices. You are seeing the fruits of your labor. You know it's possible. You know it's possible because you are your own living proof. So we place these expectations on those around us because I feel like for most people, the people you hold around you, ideally you would have high expectations of them. You have standards for the company you keep. But when you have those expectations on these people, you get disappointed. You're let down when they don't meet them. And frankly, there comes a point where you can't handle any more disappointment because there will be a point where being around their bad habits, their bad choices, it will start to hinder your progress. It will start chipping away at whatever progress you've made for yourself. It will start to bring you down because you have now elevated yourself to here and you thought your loved one was also here, but they're slowly showing you that they're not. And when you come to the realization that they're still down here while you're up here, they're going to bring you down. And that's when you have to make the choice. How many more times will you be disappointed by the results of their actions? How many more times will you allow them to interrupt your growth? You might think, oh, because I've done the work, because I'm now more self-aware, that's not going to happen. They're not going to bring me down. But I guarantee you it does because it happened to me. And luckily I was able to catch myself early enough and make the hard decision of like, okay, I need to step away before I fall further. And it's hard. It's a hard choice because you don't want to leave your loved ones behind. You don't want to leave your friends behind. You want them to move forward in life with you. And it feels like a betrayal. The thing with self-improvement, the thing with growth is that the only person you're ever responsible for, the only person you're truly responsible for is yourself, which means you're responsible for making sure you are always at your possible best for those around you. Because the best gift you can give somebody is to be the healthiest version of yourself and be a positive impact to others. And if you allow yourself to be dragged back down to the dark place because of someone who is around you who refuses to make better choices and to turn their life around, you can't do that. So there comes a point where you have to draw a line and say, enough is enough. I can't go down this path with you anymore. I will love you from afar. I hope you the best. But if you ever decide that you want to change your life and turn things around, I will be there for you. Because if you and everyone else in that person's life steps away and tells them, I'll be here for you, but I won't let you drag me down with you. Again, comes the two options. They will live with blinders on for the rest of their lives and say everyone else is the problem. They don't love me. They don't care about me. They just abandoned me. Or they will step back and think about, why is it that everyone I thought was on my side is stepping away? Why are they all saying the same things of, I can't be around you anymore, but I will be there for you if you decide to turn things around? It gets them thinking, or hopefully it will get them thinking, because again, changing, growth, it's all a choice. When I lived in Texas at the military base, I admit I was trying to make friends left and right with anyone I could because I was desperate for friendship. And I made quite a few friends that I thought might have been forever. I thought, oh, we click so well. Even when we move away or they move away, like we'll still be good friends. I met quite a few women who I was friends with who, by no fault of their own, were in some shitty situations at times. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it wasn't their fault because you're choosing who you associate with. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they weren't aware yet. But once I became friends with them, there were times where circumstances progressed, things happened, me and them would discuss it. And, they didn't have the excuse of I didn't know at that point because I made sure that they were aware. The first time it happened, I kind of brushed it off like, oh, this is a hard situation. She has kids. This is a tricky situation. I wouldn't know what to do if I was in her shoes. That was a lie because we talked about what she should do, and I can only advise on what I would do. Basically, without getting too into detail, repeatedly, this happened where people would be faced with hard decisions and they continuously chose the wrong choice one by one. And these are all different situations. That was the weird part. Like, I met several different people from different circles who all had bad circumstances or weird circumstances. And I just couldn't take them continuously making the wrong decision again and again and again, even after we discuss it, even after they make the mistake the first time and they never learned. And these were all different situations, but it was so hard for me to understand why my friends would continuously choose the option that hurts them, that puts them in a bad position, that puts their family in a bad position. I couldn't understand it. Even when you have support, even when you've talked about it and you made a game plan and you've decided you're not going to do that anymore, you're going to take this path instead of the wrong path, they kept taking the wrong path. And it comes down to a lot of things, like it's familiar, they know what to expect, they're used to it. It comes down to all those things, but without dissecting it that far. Because for me, when I hit my rock bottom, it became an obvious choice of, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be like this anymore. And I couldn't understand how anyone else who was in my situation or a similar situation would want to choose to stay in that position. Eventually, one by one, I had to distance myself. And it was very disappointing because I expected better of them. I expected them to make better decisions for themselves and for their families. I wanted them to see their value. I wanted them to see what I saw in them. I realized I couldn't make that decision for them. They had to want it for themselves. I realized their circumstances, their negative choices were impacting me. It was impacting me mentally and emotionally. And so when I realized it was a choice, I had to step away. I refused to be there for their self-destruction because it would drag me down with them. You have to choose yourself. Some might think it's selfish to choose yourself, but ultimately, if you aren't at your best, you can't help anyone else. It's like the emergency airplane situation. You're always told to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others around you. I've seen this quote going around on Instagram, and it is so painfully true. And it says something along the lines of like, not everyone is meant to grow. Some people were put on this earth as a reminder, you know what it looks like to not grow. And that is such a painful pill to swallow. That has been on my mind lately because of some realizations I'm having about the people around me. And you can't help those that don't want to be helped. So not a funny story, actually. This wasn't even the video I was originally supposed to film. I was going to film something about like long distance friendships or something like that. And then I couldn't get that out. I was having such a hard time filming. So I decided to switch gears, film some other topic, couldn't get that out. And then I just started talking and this is what came out. Except I deleted that footage on accident. I went to go edit my video and I realized I had accidentally deleted it. So fuck me. So here I am filming it again. It's probably a lot more coherent this time anyways, because, I've already done a practice run through and my ass is hurting. I got booted from the couch because Bandit over here was like, oh, mom's going to do something. I'm going to lay on the couch. So he's cute though. Oh, let me show you my baby. There's my baby. There's the baby. Oh, I can't zoom. Okay. Well, there's my other baby. And there's that baby. And my orange baby is hiding in a closet because I was vacuuming and she got scared. So she is nowhere to be found at the moment. But yeah, it's so weird to say this, but I really feel like this topic flowed out of me the first time. This is like, again, I practiced, but I really feel like this topic flowed out of me because one, I'm going through it in a way with my own realizations about people around me. And then also like, I just I feel like I've been seeing people on social media that I follow, multiple people, and they're going through similar situations. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe someone just needs to hear me say it. Maybe someone will benefit from being told that it's okay to step away because you have done all you can. They're in the same boat where they feel like they just want to help somebody in their life, but ultimately you can't. Everyone has to help themselves.